Okay. Well, April update, yeah. So today we are here on the project that we are doing in Brekuso, and it's a residence for our clients. Basically, we are on a slope again, and foundation works is ongoing on this project. The SUS Limited is working on this project as the building contractors, and we are working on the foundation bits right now. Excavation has already commenced. In fact, we are done with excavation. Ground columns and beams have also been done the block work, and or we are ready for filling and then compaction before the oversides concrete is done. Currently, what you can see is the basement level, and again, based on the advantages and disadvantages and the possibilities of designing on a hill, you realize that the main issue is the levels. And we have oh Maninga, Maninga. I don't want to slow their work crowd.
No, they are not working.
Oh yeah. It's fine. So basically say na ano the fire beam say juma course. So yeah, basically we're on the basement level, and you can see because of the levels, we already have a view even from the base level. It's not a full basement image like that, you know. It's like a sub basement, but honestly, it's not even a sub basement. It just feels like it is a ground floor, right? But again, looking at where the road starts from and the levels we are getting, that's how come we are at that level. Um, yeah. So retainer walls are prepped for us to go, and basically, yeah, that's about it. A lot of work happening, and you can see a lot of excavated material, rock, all that. It's it's stressful. Now the thing that we did here is that the dominance view is this direction, right? But the way the land faces this direction. So we had to tilt the house at an angle so that majority of the house view can face the uninterrupted view. Now because it is a slope, we have neighbors in front of us, to the side of us and behind. We have a road to the left, but we also have a neighbor to the left. Now the good thing is that in tilting it, we're not directly facing our neighbor, which would have been this direction. Because now the neighbor builds and then the main view is blocked. So the tilt allowed us to sway more towards the sloping area, which is rather steep. So whoever builds 2-3 stories will still be below our view that we're going to get. So that's like the good thing we did. But this was majorly decided on site during the setting out, right? You can design, but sometimes if you don't come to site and then you don't see what advantages or disadvantages the site offers, you cannot create those necessary adjustments. So the main thing right now, behind me is also the engineer um, representing this. Um, yeah, but basically you will see we have the footings and all. There's some adjustments that we've had to do here, and we've discussed it. So they promised to work on it before next week, so that um, engineer Joe can approve and allow work to continue, right? Somewhere towards that area. But yeah, we are fine. It's majorly around the lift shaft area, but so far so good. I want to show you guys how steep the slope is on the other end compared to here, because this is where the ground level is going to be, right? Basement here, and then imagine when you're on the first floor, you get like a full panoramic throughout the site. But yeah, so far so good. Hoping to finish this complicated bit as soon as possible, because this side you pump a lot of money in, but eventually you don't see much because all the money is going to the ground. But after this side, when the blocks come, when the building is erecting from the substructure, when you're doing the superstructure, it's more exciting. And you start seeing the house to all the elements and design bits, and then appreciate the space as well. So we'll go down there and show you how things look like, right? But this is where the entry of the house is. So just so you can get the idea of the levels. The road is from the fence wall to us, right? About 20 feet, let's say 6 meters. Now, if you look at the level we are getting, it's going to be hanging somewhere in the air like that, right? So that's how come you have to take advantage of the levels to your benefits. If not, you just waste a lot of money and you can't even move to the house easily. Walk towards that side. So from this angle, right, we are the lowest, if I not the lowest, we are the lower part of the land, but not the lowest part. The lowest part you can see is down there. And the difference from the end of the lots, that's the lowest point, to the basement is more than 10 feet, right? So you see how playful the land is. At this angle, we are close to the basement, but at that corner, we are way, way, way deep into the ground like that, right? So this is the disadvantages of designing and building on a site. The levels are a lot, and you spend a lot of money in working out the ground to make it make sense, right? If not, you just stress, and building already is stress. So to add all this to is just a lot. But yeah, walking in just so you can get a sense of height, right? This is the basement, and look, already at this part we are getting more than 5 foot difference, right? So I'm like, oh, 5'10", 5'11". This is almost 6 feet difference. That's 1.8 meters thereabouts, right? So you see how we started at the other end, we were closer to the ground. Midsection, we're at 1.8 meters. And now we're going to the lowest section. If you're not willing to spend so much money in the ground, you would have to wait till the structure is up, at least the foundation bits. Then you will visit the sites, take the levels again in terms of the differences, and then redesign to match. So right now, this is us at the lowest point of the site. And Tuka, I want you to come more towards the side so that you can see. At the lowest point of it, I just want to be like have this in the background with me so that they can tell in terms of scale. Can you see? So in terms of scale, look at me here now, the 1.8 that we're talking about, which was midsection, right? That's the basement. Now it feels like a whole floor above. You see? So slopes really tend to play with you a lot if you don't take care. You just end up wasting a lot of money and messing up the design also. So these are some of the difficulties you face when you're building and designing on a slope and you have all these changes happening all of a sudden. And remember, also because of the fact that we tilted the building a bit, it's also led to like different things that we're finding out on the sides. But yeah, definitely we have a road here. There will be some filling works here, terrace the ground a bit on some levels, find the pool inside and a nice location so that everything just makes sense all together, right? Then it's intentional. Though we have an idea, you also have to work with nature to make sure things are perfect. But yeah, that's the difference we're getting right now. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Driving in all the side, we have to probably cut off some bits, step up some levels, have some greens here and there. So it's like a basement in a basement. I mean, right now we'll concentrate on the main house and later we'll think about what to do on that side. So basically, we could walk around. I don't know how good the ground is here, but walk around and then just so you can see how the height changes as we progress, right? And again, this is not the ground floor, this is the basement level. We haven't even reached the ground floor level. So imagine all the side is basement level, still basement level. Ground floor level will be much higher. So imagine down there what the ground floor level will be. It'll be more like 3 stories from the ground. So this side, the building, a quarter of it sits on ground, but technically on grid, and then the rest is the 3 quarters is suspended. Yeah, but so far so good. It's looking nice. The view is rather very beautiful in the evening, especially. And yeah, I mean, we can't wait to finish all the ground stuff and then see how the building sits nicely on the terrain. So yeah, I call it House of Yebis. One good thing is that the client has the width, right? So you can spread enough rooms to get a view. The thing about building on slopes with views is that there's a competition for the view, and that's what makes designing it difficult. If you have width towards the view, it's easier because then you spread the spaces along the width towards the view. But usually when you get lands like this, you have depth than width, and we'll show you in another project how that's we tackle this. But it's always easier when you have this. I really don't like designing for views or things like that because then it's just competition. Everybody wants to see, everybody wants to see. When you have no view, you have the privilege to create your own views internally, but it is what it is. That's how it is. So yeah, they have their drawings printed out. That's what they are following and getting the work done. The good thing is anytime it's an issue, communication, you can call. We have Zoom meetings, we have WhatsApp calls, we have normal calls. The whole point is to communicate via text or voice, and we come often to check work. So there's communication happening, and if there's something we don't like, make it known to them. And again, we don't give approvals until things are checked and done. So they're doing the footings for the columns with the bases. So hopefully by end of week, all this will be ready, and then cast it, and then we see how we go. But yeah, so far so good.
The Saturday we are coming here with the man.